Now, I want to go back to that story that we began talking about from Canada. It is the arrest of hundreds of people, not just in Canada, but also in the US and other countries. I want to speak to Chris Doucette, crime correspondent for the Toronto Sun. Chris, thanks for bearing with us there. Now, Chris, as I was saying, this is an international story, but the inquiry is centred on this Toronto-based company. Just tell us a little bit more about the investigation.
From what I understand, this is a company that has been around since at least 2005. Police allege that it's generated some $4 million plus in revenues by allegedly selling videos of child porn-related images. Apparently, from what we heard this morning from Toronto Police, that investigators, they had undercover investigators working online who managed to find this man, the alleged owner of the company here in the city. And over time, they continued their investigation, ultimately executed a search warrant, and seized some 45 terabytes of information. These are, disturbing images, I'm told, of young boys as young as 5 years old, all prepubescent kids. From there, they make the arrest of the company operator, a man named Brian Way, a 42-year-old man, and they begin at that point branching out the investigation. And this is where it kind of spreads around the world, more than 50 countries, as far as we're told. They actually start tracking down the consumers, the customers who've been buying these videos from the operator of this company. And again, that's where the victims come into play as well. Once they start arresting people around the world, 348 is the latest number we've heard. They start seizing computers of those accused, and it's on those accused computers that they find more images of child pornography, and they start tracking down those victims, and that's where the 380 some odd victims come into play.
And Chris, the victims, just very briefly, they've been described as being rescued. Do we know what is happening with them?
Well, they're kids that they were in environments where they were being sexually abused, whether that's by coaches, by scout leaders, by priests, teachers. I mean, it's just astonishing, some of the people that have been tied to this, doctors, nurses. So the children have apparently been removed from any environments whether it was a relative or whatever, so that they are away from that alleged predator and no longer being victimized. But I mean, as you know, with something like this,
Chris, I'm going to have to interrupt you because we are out of time, but thank you for filling us in. That was Chris, crime correspondent from the Toronto Sun. From me here on Newsday, thanks very much for watching. See you soon. Bye-bye.